General Hospital spoilers reveal that Brad is starting to realize he's being pulled into a more dangerous storm than ever before. New events are constantly happening, pulling him into a vortex that seems to have no escape. From his confrontation with Cyrus Renault, Brad has begun to sense that something terrible is coming. Cyrus is not one to easily let go of personal grudges, and now, he is truly making new plans to ensure that Brad will never have the chance to stand in his way again. All signs point to Cyrus planning a dangerous move, a sophisticated strategy not only to hurt Brad but to make him disappear completely. The pressure is mounting, forcing Brad to be cautious with every move he makes. He begins to feel watched, as though every decision he makes is already within Cyrus's control. An invisible fear lurks in every moment, as though an unseen hand is tightening around him. The story is reaching its climax as Brad realizes that Cyrus no longer just wants to threaten him, he is actively trying to eliminate him for good. The danger comes not only from Cyrus's warnings or his murderous stare, but also from the suspicious events occurring around him. Everything seems to be deliberately arranged, as if someone is pulling the strings of the entire game. With his patience and calculation, Cyrus is carefully setting a perfect trap. He doesn't need to act quickly, as he knows that fear will make Brad make mistakes. He just needs to steer the situation to his advantage, so that at the right time, Brad will have no way out. The worst part is that Brad might not realize death is approaching until it's too late. He might be trying to seek help, but will anyone be able to save him before it's too late? Cyrus has failed before, but this time, he will not let his mistakes repeat. Once he sets his sights on a target, there will be no opportunity for Brad to escape the fate that has been sealed for him. Brad's coming days will be filled with tension, moments of confusion, and inevitable fear. This story is no longer just a typical confrontation, it has become a fight for survival. And if Brad doesn't find a way out of Cyrus's grip, perhaps his fate was sealed from the very beginning. In the final moments before death approaches, Brad sent out crucial information, exposing Cyrus Renault as the mastermind behind the plot to kill him. With no other way to protect himself, Brad decided to act in the only way possible, accusing the person who hunted him, not only to Lucas but also to Selina Wu. This was not just a simple accusation but a devastating blow that could completely change the game in Port Charles. The evidence Brad left behind not only confirmed Cyrus's crimes but also laid the foundation for an irreversible chain of events, a storm of power about to explode. Brad's message to Lucas and Selina was not a reckless move, but a calculated move before he faced his grim fate. He knew he couldn't escape Cyrus on his own, but if this information reached those capable of acting, he could ensure that Cyrus would not easily escape punishment. Lucas, who had once been an important part of Brad's life, now had to face a cruel truth. The person he once loved had been mercilessly hunted, and he had the evidence to bring the killer to light. But more importantly, Selina Wu, a woman with great power and willing to do whatever it takes to protect her family, now had irrefutable reasons to take action. The truth about Brad's death was not just a purge by Cyrus but also a declaration of war against all those who once thought they could control the power dynamics in Port Charles. When this evidence is revealed, a new, crazy element emerges, the rise of a new force that will stand against those who have held power for so long. Selina has never been one for mercy, and when her grandson was ruthlessly killed, her fury will be unstoppable. Armed with this information, Selina had every reason to exact ruthless revenge. But she would not act recklessly. Selina always knows how to use every opportunity, every move to ensure her enemy is completely destroyed. Cyrus might think he won when he eliminated Brad, but he doesn't realize that Brad left behind a ticking time bomb that could explode at any moment. Lucas can't stay out of this. Receiving this information from Brad forces him to face a difficult choice: continue with the peaceful life he's chosen or stand up to bring justice for someone who once meant so much to him. If Lucas decides to act, it could completely change his life and pull him into the dangerous spiral Cyrus has created. But perhaps the most important question is how Port Charles will react to this event. A new disaster has officially been confirmed, no longer just rumors or subtle threats. When the truth is revealed, not only will Selina and Lucas take action, but other forces in town will too. Sonny Corinthos might not sit idly by when he realizes that Cyrus has committed another murder right under his nose. Jason Morgan might find a way to clean up this threat once and for all. And if Michael Corinthos learns the truth, he could be the one to make the final move to ensure that Cyrus never has the chance to carry out his plan. But this story is no longer just about revenge. It has become a complete power explosion. Port Charles is no longer a safe playground. The old rules are being torn apart, and a new force of control is rising. When Selina begins to implement her revenge plan, the balance of power in town will change in ways no one can predict. Cyrus has failed before, but this time, he has no chance to fix his mistakes. The once feared force is now being cornered, and with Selina ready to confront him directly, there's no guarantee he will survive the storm. With all the pieces set on the table, the question is no longer whether Cyrus can continue to dominate Port Charles, but whether he can survive the coming battle. Once the most powerful figures in town have identified their enemy, nothing will stop them from carrying out their punishment plans. And when it's all over, no one will know who will emerge victorious, and who will be swept away in this ruthless power struggle. Selina and Lucas are truly pushing everything to its breaking point, creating a chain of irreversible events. When they receive Brad's final evidence, their anger and determination explode, turning this story from a simple murder into an unavoidable revenge war. Port Charles is no longer a safe playground for people like Cyrus. Once Selina decides to take action, nothing will stop her from carrying out her punishment plan. Selina, with her sharpness and ruthlessness, is acting not only out of compassion for Brad but also for the honor of the Wu family. This is not just a personal matter but a battle for power. Cyrus made a mistake thinking he could eliminate Brad without consequences. Now, Selina is taking strategic steps to ensure he never harms her family again. Lucas, who may not be the type to directly confront, can no longer stand by while Brad warned him about the truth before his death. He is no longer the weak man, letting things happen without reacting. This truth has sparked an important decision in him. He can't let Brad's death be in vain. By working with Selina, Lucas shows he is willing to do whatever it takes to expose Cyrus and ensure justice is served, even if it means stepping deeper into a world he never thought he would be involved in. The story is spiraling out of control, and one thing is certain: the death of Cyrus Renault is no longer a hypothesis, but a reality that cannot be avoided. Those who once feared Cyrus are now standing up against him, and Selina will not let this drag on. She will not let the law handle it because she knows all too well that Cyrus has enough tricks to escape any punishment. So, Selina will act in her own way, a way that leaves Cyrus no way out. But what's even scarier is how Cyrus's death is being planned. This is not a simple murder, it is a perfect adjustment, a death staged to ensure that all evidence points back to him, that everything he has done will come back to destroy him. Selina doesn't need to get her hands dirty. She just needs to pull the right strings, and Cyrus will fall right into his own trap. The obsession and madness in this story doesn't lie in who will kill Cyrus, but how he will be eliminated. He was once a force that terrified all of Port Charles, but now, he is just a pawn in the bigger game that Selina is orchestrating. When everything comes to an end, his death will come in a way he never saw coming, and by the time he realizes, it might be too late to change his fate. A new era is coming to Port Charles. Cyrus once controlled everything, but now, he is just a chapter soon to be closed. And when Selina completes her plan, there will be nothing left of Cyrus but memories of a man who was once a threat but was destroyed by his own greed and ruthlessness. Brad's death is not only a huge shock to Port Charles but also marks the departure of actor Perry Shen from General Hospital. However, even though his character has been written off, the legacy that Brad left behind is still causing ripples, making everything escalate in ways no one could predict. Brad may have left the game, but what he left behind is shaking the entire town. First are the secrets he managed to reveal before his death. The evidence exposing Cyrus as the mastermind behind his murder has laid the foundation for an inevitable power struggle. Lucas, who once had a complicated history with Brad, can no longer ignore the truth. Receiving information from Brad forces him to face the big question. Should he continue his peaceful life or dive into the fight for justice for someone who was once an important part of his life? But the person most affected is Selina Wu. Brad was not only her grandson but also the sole heir of the Wu family in the underground world. His death is not just a personal loss but a declaration of war that Selina cannot ignore. She knows exactly who is behind this, and if Cyrus thinks he can escape Selina Wu's wrath, he has made a fatal mistake. Port Charles is entering a period of instability like never before. Brad's murder has triggered a chain reaction, pushing all those involved into direct confrontation. Selina, who already has immense power, now has nothing to lose and will stop at nothing until she makes those responsible pay. Cyrus Renault's freedom is temporary, for now. Selina has clear motives to act, and she is not one to take half-hearted measures. Meanwhile, Brad's departure has forced many other characters to question their place in this town. Britt Westbourne, who once had the closest relationship with Brad, will surely be deeply affected. She will not only mourn his loss but could also find a way to continue Brad's unfinished business, especially if there are any secrets Brad knew that he never had the chance to reveal. Brad's death is not just a personal event but a milestone that changes the entire course of General Hospital. If his death marks Perry Shin's departure from GH, then Brad's legacy continues to live on through the consequences he left behind. With Selina stepping into the fight, Lucas facing his conscience, Britt mourning the loss of her closest friend, and Cyrus facing a more powerful enemy than ever before, Port Charles has never faced a storm this fierce. Even though Brad may be gone, what he left behind is still shaping the future of those around him. And the biggest question now is, who will be the next to pay the price in this war?